When the zombie apocalypse finally hits, and let's be honest, we all know it's coming, you'll have bigger problems than just running out of Wi-Fi. Food, water, shelter, and avoiding getting your brain eaten by your former neighbor Bob, who never returned your lawnmower anyway. But here's something you probably haven't thought about. Which plants are going to make it through the end times with you? Number 10. Cocklebur. Let's start with a plant that's basically already preparing for the apocalypse. The cocklebur. This spiky nightmare has been annoying humans and animals for thousands of years. And it's not about to stop just because some zombies showed up to the party. Cocklebur is that plant that attaches its seeds to literally everything that moves. You know those annoying little spiky balls that stick to your socks when you walk through a field? Yeah, that's cocklebur, and it's been perfecting its zombie survival strategy for millennia. These seeds can stick to zombie clothes, zombie skin, zombie hair, basically turning every shambling corpse into a mobile seed dispersal unit. The plant doesn't need good soil, it doesn't need regular watering, and it definitely doesn't need humans fussing over it. It grows in disturbed soil, which is going to be everywhere once society collapses and zombies start trampling through everyone's carefully manicured lawns. While your prize-winning roses are crying for their weekly feeding schedule, Cocklebur is out there colonizing every abandoned parking lot and bombed-out building foundation. Plus, here's the kicker. Cocklebur is toxic to most animals, so even if some post-apocalyptic wildlife decides to get brave, they're going to learn real quick to leave this plant alone. It's like nature's own security system, complete with chemical warfare capabilities. Number 9. Dandelion. Oh, you thought dandelions were annoying before the zombie apocalypse? Just wait until they're the only thing standing between you and starvation. These yellow menaces are basically the ultimate survivor plants, and they've been proving it by taking over lawns worldwide, despite humanity's best efforts to eradicate them. First of all, dandelions can grow literally anywhere. Cracks in concrete? No problem. Abandoned rooftops? They'll make it work. Nuclear wasteland? Dandelions will probably be the first things to pop up and start complaining about the view. They have taproots that can go down 10 feet, which means they can find water when everything else has given up and died. But here's where it gets really smart. Every part of the dandelion is edible. The leaves, the flowers, the roots, even the white sap can be used as medicine. While you're eating your last can of beans and wondering if that expired yogurt is worth the risk, dandelions will be providing a full salad bar right outside your bunker door. And reproduction? Dandelions don't mess around. One plant can produce up to 2,000 seeds, and those seeds can travel up to 60 miles on the wind. They don't need bees, they don't need pollination, they just make copies of themselves like some kind of plant photocopier. By the time the zombie apocalypse is over, dandelions will probably have taken over entire continents. Number 8. Prickly pear cactus. If plants could wear leather jackets and ride motorcycles, the prickly pear cactus would be leading the gang. This spiky bad boy has been surviving in some of the harshest conditions on Earth, and a few zombies shambling around aren't going to cramp its style. Water? Who needs water when you can store it in your body like a living canteen? Prickly pear can go months without a single drop of rain and still look better than most people do after a long weekend. It's got those thick, waxy pads that store water and nutrients, making it basically a plant prepper with its own emergency supplies built right in. The spines aren't just for show either. They're like a medieval defense system that makes this cactus practically zombie-proof. Try to grab a prickly pear without gloves, and you'll be picking spines out of your hands for weeks. Zombies might not feel pain, but they're definitely not going to have the fine motor skills needed to carefully harvest cactus fruit. Speaking of fruit, prickly pear produces these gorgeous red and purple fruits that are not only edible, but packed with nutrients and water. It's like nature's energy drink, complete with its own anti-theft device. The pads are edible too. Just scrape off the spines, and you've got yourself some apocalypse salad that tastes like green beans, with a slightly slimy texture. Plus, prickly pear spreads by dropping pads that root wherever they land. One plant can turn into an entire cactus colony faster than zombies can spread through a shopping mall. While other plants are dying from neglect, prickly pear will be establishing its own post-apocalyptic empire, one spiny pad at a time. Number 7. Bamboo. Bamboo is basically the overachiever of the plant world, and it's going to make every other plant look lazy during the zombie apocalypse. We're talking about a grass, yes, it's technically a grass, that can grow 3 feet in a single day. That's faster than most zombies can shamble across a parking lot. This stuff is so aggressive that it's already banned in some places because it takes over everything. Plant some bamboo in your backyard, and within a few years it'll be knocking on your neighbor's door asking if it can borrow some space. During a zombie apocalypse, when there's no one around to trim it back, bamboo is going to go absolutely wild. The root system is like an underground network of plant intelligence. Cut down a bamboo grove, and it'll just laugh at you and send up new shoots from the roots. Burn it down? It'll be back next season, taller and more annoying than before. It's like the plant version of a horror movie villain that just won't stay dead. But here's why bamboo is actually useful in the apocalypse. It's edible when young. It can be used to build shelter, make tools, create weapons, and even fashion into musical instruments for when you need to boost morale during those long, zombie-filled nights. It's basically a one-stop shop for survival needs that happens to grow faster than weeds. Some species of bamboo only flower once every 65 to 120 years, and then the entire grove dies. But don't worry. The seeds from that flowering will create thousands of new bamboo plants, ensuring that this green menace will outlast not just the zombie apocalypse, but probably the next ice age too. Number 6. Kudzu. Speaking of invasive plants that don't know when to quit, let's talk about kudzu, the vine that ate the South. This Japanese import was brought to America in the 1870s to help with erosion control, and it's been getting revenge on us ever since by trying to swallow entire states. Kudzu grows up to a foot per day during peak season, which means it can literally cover a zombie faster than the zombie can escape. Imagine shambling through the woods and suddenly finding yourself wrapped up like a green burrito by a plant that apparently has nothing better to do than practice its rope tricks. This vine doesn't care about soil quality, water availability, or climate conditions. Hot, cool, cold, no problem. Drought? Kudzu will just dig its roots deeper and keep on growing. It can climb trees, cover buildings, and engulf entire landscapes until everything looks like it's been gift-wrapped by a very enthusiastic plant. The really terrifying part is that kudzu can grow from tiny root fragments. You could blast it with dynamite, and any little piece of root left behind will just start the whole process over again. It's like the plant equivalent of a zombie virus, nearly impossible to completely eliminate once it gets established. But in a survival situation, kudzu is actually your friend. The leaves are edible and taste like spinach. The roots can be processed into starch for food, and the flowers are sweet and can be made into jelly. Plus, the vines are strong enough to use for rope and construction materials. While you're fighting off zombies, kudzu will be busy turning the entire landscape into a giant salad bar with building supplies included. Number 5. Plantain. Not the banana-looking thing you're thinking of. We're talking about the weedy plantain that's probably growing in your lawn right now, quietly plotting world domination. This unassuming little plant has been following humans around the globe for so long that Native Americans called it white man's footprint because it showed up wherever European settlers went. Plantain is basically the ultimate opportunist. It thrives in compacted soil, disturbed ground, and places where other plants have given up hope. Post-apocalyptic wasteland? Plantain will set up shop faster than you can say brains. It's got these tough, ribbed leaves that can handle being stepped on by zombies, humans, and whatever other creatures are wandering around after civilization ends. The seeds are like tiny survival experts. They get sticky when wet, so they'll attach to shoes, paws, zombie feet, basically anything that moves. One zombie stumbling through a plantain patch will carry thousands of seeds to new locations, spreading this plant across the wasteland like a very slow but determined green army. Every part of plantain is useful for survival. The leaves can be eaten raw or cooked, and they're packed with vitamins. They're also natural bandages. Just chew up a leaf and slap it on a cut, and it'll help stop bleeding and prevent infection. The seeds are edible too, and can be ground into flour. It's like having a pharmacy and grocery store rolled into one weedy little plant. Plantain is also incredibly hardy. It can survive being mowed, stepped on, driven over, and generally abused in ways that would kill most plants. During the zombie apocalypse, while delicate flowers are fainting at the first sign of trouble, plantain will be out there taking whatever punishment the post-apocalyptic world can dish out and asking for more. Number 4. Jerusalem Artichoke. Despite its name, Jerusalem Artichoke isn't from Jerusalem, and it's not an artichoke. It's actually a type of sunflower that produces edible tubers underground. And it's basically the potato's overachieving cousin that nobody talks about at family reunions. This plant is virtually indestructible once it gets established. Plant one tuber, and within a few years you'll have enough Jerusalem artichokes to feed a small army of zombie apocalypse survivors. The tubers multiply underground like they're training for the plant Olympics, and they can survive freezing temperatures that would turn regular potatoes into mush. Here's the beautiful part. You don't need to replant Jerusalem artichokes. Just leave a few tubers in the ground when you harvest, and they'll keep producing new plants year after year. It's like having a self-renewing food source that requires absolutely zero agricultural knowledge or effort. While you're busy fighting off zombies and trying to remember which end of a gun the bullets come out of, Jerusalem artichokes will be quietly multiplying underground. The tubers taste nutty and slightly sweet, kind of like a cross between a potato and a water chestnut. They can be eaten raw, cooked, or even fermented into alcohol, for those times when you need to forget about the zombie apocalypse for a few hours. The plants also grow tall, up to 10 feet, with bright yellow flowers that can help you spot your food source from a distance. The only downside is that Jerusalem artichokes contain inulin, which can cause some digestive issues if you eat too many at once. But hey, during the zombie apocalypse, a little gas is probably the least of your worries, and at least you know your food source is working its way through your system. Number 3. Lamb's quarters. Lamb's quarters is that plant that's been growing in disturbed soil and waste places for thousands of years, just waiting for its moment to shine. And guess what? The zombie apocalypse is going to be its time to really show off. This annual weed is basically nature's fast food restaurant. It grows quickly, it's available almost everywhere, and it's surprisingly nutritious. Lamb's quarters leaves contain more protein than spinach and more vitamin A than carrots. While you're rationing your last energy bar and debating whether that mysterious can without a label is worth the risk, Lamb's quarters will be offering you a fresh, healthy meal right outside your door. The plant can grow in terrible soil conditions. We're talking about soil so poor that even weeds feel sorry for it. Cracked pavement? No problem. Abandoned construction sites? Lamb's quarters will move right in and start redecorating. It thrives in nitrogen-rich soil, which means it'll do great in areas where, organic matter has been left behind by the zombie apocalypse. One plant can produce up to 75,000 seeds, and those seeds can remain viable in the soil for decades. This means that even if the current crop gets wiped out by zombie hordes or nuclear winter, there's a seed bank underground just waiting for the right conditions to sprout. It's like having a time-release survival food system built right into the ground. The entire plant is edible: leaves, stems, flowers, and seeds. Young leaves can be eaten raw in salads. Older leaves can be cooked like spinach, and the seeds can be ground into flour or eaten like quinoa. The plant basically comes with its own instruction manual written in universal, this-looks-edible language. Number 2. Purslane. Purslane is basically the Navy SEAL of the plant world. Tough, resourceful, and ready for anything the apocalypse can throw at it. This succulent weed has been feeding humans for thousands of years, and it's not about to stop just because some zombies crashed the party. First of all, Purslane is practically indestructible. It can survive in extreme heat, drought conditions that would make a cactus sweat, and soil so poor that earthworms have given up and moved to more promising neighborhoods. The plant stores water in its thick, fleshy leaves, making it basically a living water bottle that happens to taste good. This stuff spreads faster than gossip in a small town. One plant can cover several square feet, and it roots at every node along its trailing stems. Pull up a piece of purslane, and if you leave even a tiny fragment behind, it'll regrow into a whole new plant. It's like the plant equivalent of that friend who shows up uninvited to every party but brings really good snacks, so you can't stay mad. Nutritionally, purslane is basically a superfood that grows like a weed because, well, it is a weed. It contains more omega-3 fatty acids than any other green leafy vegetable, plus vitamins A, C and E, magnesium, calcium, and potassium. While you're taking sketchy vitamin supplements that expired 3 years ago, Purslane is offering you a fresh, natural multivitamin that tastes like lemony spinach. The seeds are also edible and incredibly nutritious. One purslane plant can produce up to 50,000 seeds, ensuring that this green powerhouse will keep showing up wherever disturbed soil and sunshine intersect. During the zombie apocalypse, While other plants are having existential crises about the end of civilization, Purslane will be out there spreading its seeds and building its empire, one abandoned lot at a time. Number 1. Amaranth. And finally, we have the ultimate apocalypse plant, Amaranth. This ancient grain has been feeding civilizations for over 8,000 years, and it's basically been training for the end times this entire time. When the Aztecs were building pyramids and sacrificing people to the sun god, they were fueling themselves with amaranth. If it's good enough for an empire that lasted 300 years, it's probably good enough for your zombie bunker. Amaranth is ridiculously productive. One plant can produce up to 60,000 seeds. That's enough to plant several acres or feed you for months, depending on your priorities. The seeds are tiny but packed with complete protein containing all the essential amino acids. While you're trying to remember if peanut butter counts as a protein source, Amaranth is offering you nutritional completeness in a package smaller than a grain of sand. The plant itself is basically unkillable. It thrives in hot, dry conditions and actually prefers poor soil. Too much water? It gets root rot. Too little water? It just shrugs and keeps growing. Perfect soil conditions? It thinks you're trying too hard and gets suspicious. Amaranth is basically the plant equivalent of that friend who thrives on chaos and gets uncomfortable when things are going too well. Here's the really brilliant part. The entire plant is edible. The leaves can be eaten like spinach. The stems can be cooked like asparagus. And the seeds can be popped like tiny popcorn, ground into flour, or cooked like rice. It's like having a 3-course meal growing on a single stalk. Amaranth also comes in varieties that produce brilliant red, purple, and gold flowers that can reach 6 feet tall. During the post-apocalyptic wasteland phase, when everything looks like a rejected set from a dystopian movie, Amaranth will be out there providing splashes of color like nature's own motivational poster. The seeds can survive for years in storage without losing their nutritional value. And they don't need special processing or equipment to prepare. You can literally eat them straight off the plant if necessary. While you're trying to figure out how to work that can opener you found in the rubble, amaranth seeds will be ready to eat right out of nature's package. So there you have it. 10 plants already training for the apocalypse. While you're hoarding canned beans and Googling how to fight zombies with a broomstick, these green legends are thriving in sidewalk cracks and abandoned lots. Most of them are probably growing near you right now, quietly prepping for the end times while you worry about your Wi-Fi. Maybe it's time we stop calling them weeds and start calling them allies. Who knows? When the world ends, it might just be the dandelions that save your life. And honestly, that's a twist I didn't see coming.